Hi, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this morning's webinar from Desk.com. My name is Meredith Sain, and today we're going to be talking about 5 tips for getting the most out of customer self-service. But before we get started, let's take a look at the forward-looking statement. So as with any Salesforce presentation, you know that we have to give the forward-looking statement, which says to make all buying decisions based on information that is currently available, nothing that we talk about that is forward-looking. Moving on to the agenda, today we're going to go through some introductions so you understand who you're hearing from. Then we'll talk a little bit about why you should offer self-service. We'll move into those 5 tips for getting the most out of customer self-service. We'll show you a little bit about how to create an article via a demo and then answer some questions. In addition, if you have any questions along the way, please feel free to type those in the question box and we'll be happy to answer them. So as I said, my name is Meredith Sain. I'm a product marketing manager here at Desk.com. One thing I love about my job is I get to travel the country and talk to all different companies, typically small and medium businesses, about how they're doing customer service. And self-service is a topic that comes up frequently, so I've applied a lot of what I've learned from customers and from research into the presentation today, and hopefully you will find some benefit. I also have Michelle Lee with me, and she's going to introduce herself.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So I'm a solution engineer here at Desk.com, but prior to joining Desk, I was a self-service program manager, and I did a lot of, building of tools to help customers help themselves get the answer faster without having to, disrupt their day and maybe, wait for an answer from an agent. So this topic today about self-service is really near and dear to my heart, and I've also done a number of implementations at Desk for existing and new customers and helping them really, get that self-service strategy started and educating them on them. So I'm really excited today to share some best practices with everyone.
So we're going to start by defining self-service. Self-service is a support channel where customers can find the answers to their own questions. So many of you are probably already doing this as customers yourselves, and it can make your life a lot easier as a small to medium-sized business. But why should you offer self-service? And that's because today's customers are savvy and they have high expectations. So first of all, customers expect service options. Today, customers no longer look to just call or email in. They'd like to reach you via social channels or answer their own questions. Secondly, experience is everything. So research shows that experience has taken over price and product when customers make buying decisions. So self-service helps you deliver an even better experience so your customers remain loyal. And finally, customers expect fast service from anywhere. So if they're on the go, it's easy for them to access answers on their mobile device via a self-service center. And more importantly, self-service is taking the lead in customer service. So research from Forrester shows that 72% of customers prefer self-service over phone and email. So it's extremely important for you to make this an option for your customers. So now that we've talked a little bit about what self-service is and why you should offer it, let's take a look at a couple examples of companies who do self-service really well. And I'm going to pass it over to Michelle to show you.
Perfect, thank you, Meredith. So let me just get out of this PowerPoint for 1 second so that I can show you some examples. Now, what you're seeing here are some examples of Desk customers that are using our out-of-the-box support portal tools. So as a Desk customer, every single customer gets a self-service support portal, and in that portal you can put your customer-facing, knowledge articles, etc. And I love using Pandora as one of our examples. They're a great customer. They started very early with us, and they've scaled very successfully. And when I go to Pandora's site, I can see that there's a help section. And then when I click on the help page, it still looks like I'm on Pandora's site, but Pandora's actually using a Desk support portal. So this is hosted on our site, and there are a lot of features that come with a portal. So for example, this search bar here, if I wanted to, as a customer, find out how to do certain things, I can type in some terms in the search bar. It'll show me some articles that are relevant. You have some knowledge articles, and knowledge topics. So for example, maybe I want to look at this topic on account. I can see all these different articles here. So maybe I want to look at one on how to create an account. You can see that there's rich text, HTML, and there's even a way for you to vote and tell, the administrator if this article was helpful or not. So again, all of this is hosted and created using Desk.com. So this means that you don't need to get developer resources to help you build out a search tool, to help you build out the ability to, push a topic or an article out to the public. And as an administrator and as an agent, you can in real time contribute to the knowledge of your support portal, which is a really, really great experience for your customers. I want to show you another site that I really love, which is Frank Body. They are an Australian company, and they sell a lot of different creams and scrubs. And even though this looks completely different from the Pantora page, it's actually the same Desk.com support portal on the back end. So if I click in here, this is the search bar. You can see the different articles that come up, which is really great. These are the different knowledge topics. So if I go in and look at body scrubs, I can look at all the different articles. And so what Frank Body and what Pandora did is they just, put their styling and their branding to the Desk support portal and really made it their own and continued that customer experience that comes from their homepage as well. I wanted to show you a quick example also of a B2B customer using the Desk.com support portal. This is Discuss. And you can see, even though it's B2B, they've still had a lot of fun with the branding, the same search bar that you're now very familiar with seeing, the different knowledge topics, and if you click into a topic, you can see the article as well. And the examples that I showed you right now, they're very customized, they're really great, but you don't necessarily have to make it that complicated and that have that much customization. So we have a customer here that has basically taken our out-of-the-box template that has the topics and has the different articles and kind of put light styling on it, and now they're ready to get going so their customers can still get that self-service experience and get all the answers to their questions without the site being too customized. Okay. So Meredith, I'm going to pass it back to you now.
Great. So as you can see, a lot of different companies do self-service in different ways, and really everyone's happier when you offer self-service, not just your customers. So number one, customers get answers faster from anywhere. So you're really solving for a lot of different problems. Self-service shortens wait times, and customers are a little more comfortable going on your website to get an answer that's always accurate and consistent. So when an agent is constantly typing out an answer to a question, it can become a little skewed or maybe not always accurate or the same answer. But with self-service, customers are getting a very consistent experience. And finally, self-service deflects the number of cases that agents get so they can focus on other issues. So a lot of times with small businesses, we understand that the person who does customer service might also be an engineer or a developer and working on other projects. So when they get less cases, they now have the opportunity to work on those more important issues that maybe grow the business or build and deliver a new product.
Yeah, Meredith, from my previous experience as a self-service program manager, I would create videos for a product launch. And on the first day of launch, we would have thousands of views on this video. So what this was telling us is that customers are going to the self-service portal to get more information about the product and to make decisions, buying decisions based on, seeing the product, understanding how easy it is to use, knowing that they have support if they need it. So, it's not only an after-sales tool, it's a pre-sale tool as well.
Right. So like Michelle's saying, some companies even use this in a search engine optimization or as a marketing tool to show customers how to do things or what you integrate with or basic functionality of the product. But of course, self-service is only as good as how many people use it. So really the meat of the presentation today is helping you get customers to use self-service. So now I'm going to pass it back over to Michelle to go through 5 tips to get the most out of customer self-service. Michelle?
Perfect. Thank you, Meredith. So let's start with our first tip. So make support easy to find and access. And I know a lot of this is, very much common sense, but, I want to talk through some of the things that our customers are doing to make it easier for their customers to find self-service. It's only as useful as it is used. So the first thing, looking at our Desk.com site is every single web page out there has a header. And the best place to put support is in the header because it makes it easy to find. And if the customer doesn't need it today, that's okay, because coming to your header, they know that you have a support section up there, and it kind of helps them map it to memory so that when they do need support in the future, they'll come and they'll know exactly where to go for support. I think everyone sort of has experience where they kind of have to scroll to the bottom of the footer and then look for support there, but why not just make it easier for everyone and put it right there on the header? Okay. ParkWiz is a customer of Desk.com, and they provide sort of on-demand parking for their customers. And what I love about their site is that, not only do they have support in the header, but they've done something really creative. So when you hover over the help section, there's a drop down that shows you the top FAQs. So at the end of the day, this is all about providing a great experience for your customers and helping them get the answer to their question as soon as possible. Imagine, as a customer, being able to find the answer to your question without even having to do 2 mouse clicks. You hovered over help and you found your article right there. That is an amazing experience. Okay. Another way to provide support is to use a help widget. So if you see on the bottom right-hand corner there, this is actually a tool that one of our technical consultants at Desk.com built in his spare time, and it's a little button on your website, and when you click on it, it pops open a widget. So this widget has all of the topics, all of the articles from your public-facing knowledge base, and the great thing is your customers can actually browse and read through these articles on the page itself. So imagine having this on the marketing product page. Imagine this having this on the About Us page. This means that the customer doesn't need to navigate to another browser tab, etc., in order to view support. They can view support while browsing, your buy or purchase page as well. Okay. Hopefully, that was helpful, and in addition to common sense, there was some flavor there.
And Michelle, we're getting a lot of questions on the webinar about recordings. Just to reiterate from what we said in the chat, we will be sending a recording out after the webinar for anyone who has to leave early.
Perfect. Okay, so tip number 2, create amazing and relevant content. Again, this is common sense, but here are some tips on how to really make some amazing content out there. So first of all, be concise. We've all seen that support article that's 10 feet long. You're spending minutes trying to decipher what the important information is and trying to find your answer. Instead, just make it really easy. Try to answer the question in as few sentences as possible. Muntree here is a Desk.com customer, and what I love about what Muntree did is, so let's say I wanted to find out how I can change my delivery time. When I click on this, there's a little drop down, and literally my question is answered in 1 sentence. There's even a hyperlink that can allow me to go to the account page where I can change my delivery time. I got my answer in literally a split second, which is a great experience. Okay. Use bullets numbering to break out content. Again, we've seen that 10-foot article. It's not a great experience. Instead, break it out using steps, step 1, step 2, step 3. Make the content very digestible and, easy to follow. And as well, Images are so important. So having screenshots, having pictures of the product, and not only having images but annotating them. So you can see here that we have, boxes sort of highlighting the sections that we're talking about, making it very easy for the customer to go look at it, find it on their own product, and then follow the instructions. Okay. Customers love multimedia, so not only images, but videos and screencasts are really, really great resources. They don't have to be complicated. You can use, software to record your screen, etc. if you have a SaaS product or anything that can be used on a screen. But again, offering this content is very helpful for customers.
Yeah, Michelle, and we're getting a question in the chat that I'm sure many of you have. And the question is, can this be used for secure content that we only want users to see? So can you take an answer at that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. And the answer is yes. So with Desk.com, you have the ability to put your content behind a login. You can use single sign-on if that's something that you have existing, or you can use a Desk.com method to authenticate. It's very simple and very easy to set up.
Great, thank you.
Absolutely. Okay. And you have your content out there in the world, but how do you know if it's really effective or not? The important thing is to review the feedback and then continue to optimize the content. So with Desk.com, as we mentioned earlier, we have the ability to provide feedback on an article. Did you find it helpful? Yes or no? And if you go to the Desk.com support portal and you look at our articles, we actually have an integration with Get Feedback where we not only ask you to rate the article, but we also ask you for qualitative feedback. So that's sort of taking this voting tool or this feedback tool to the next level. And additionally, we recently rolled out a really great feature called the Content Report. And what you're looking at right now is the Content Report itself. These are the different articles that are in your support portal. This is the number of views on the article. You can see how many ratings your articles received, what % of them was positive, and you can also see how many times the article was presented for deflection and a customer viewed it and didn't submit a ticket. So a lot of great information here, and happy to provide more context if you guys have questions on that feature. So the next tip here, tip number 3, is to include a contact form that collects valuable data. So I'm sure everyone on the line has gotten an email that looks like this. The subject is help, and it's basically, I need help. This is a very bad experience for your agents, and it's also not a great experience for your customer because they're going to have to provide that information to you, and your agent's going to have to respond and say, hey, can you give me this information, and this information so that I can help you? And next thing you know, you're 4 days out from the original day that the customer had sent you the email. So getting that information up front helps your customer get the answer more quickly and also helps your agent better service your customer.
And another question we're getting in on the chat is, can we modify the widget to look more like our website?
Yeah, absolutely. So the widget, you can use any styling that you want. If you have a developer in-house, they can get in there and play around with the code. We also have professional services here at Desk.com. We've helped several of our customers, build their websites and integrate it into, the different platforms they have. So that's absolutely something that can be done.
Okay, thank you, Michelle.
Perfect. So back to the contact form, it's all about getting the context and the information that the agent needs to quickly be able to help the customer. So using a contact form, this again is a Desk.com tool that comes out of the box for everyone, all of our customers. You can see that this contact form, collects the name, the email address, and it also has these custom fields here that can help you identify, what the customer type is, what the contact reason is. And as the customer types in the subject of this contact, we have relevant articles pop up on the side here, which may help the customer answer the question. And I want to take us out to a quick demo to show you how that works. So if we go just here to a proof of concept site that I have here, you can see this is a regular Desk.com. This is our out-of-the-box template. So all you have to do is add your logo, have some different knowledge topics, and let's say as a customer I want to submit a contact. So I go to the contact form, and then I'm going to type in my name here. And then I can select I am a maybe advertiser, and my contact reason is I have something, maybe it's related to other, maybe it's about shipping, and I want to send in that contact right now. So you can see as I typed into the subject, this is actually a search bar, and it will surface these articles on the side again to help your customer find the answer to their question. And these custom fields here, they're very easy to add to your contact form, but think about the power of these custom fields. Because they're in Desk, you can say if the contact type is an advertiser, then route it to my sales team. If it's about a reader, then route it to my general Tier 1 customer support queue. You can see that at the end of the month, you can see how many contacts you got that were related to general inquiry versus product question. So in my next customer service meeting or in my next executive meeting, I can tell executives, 50% of our contacts are about general inquiry, 30% are about shipping. For the shipping contacts, the average handle time is this. For general inquiry, the average CSAT is this. And during holiday season or during Valentine's Day or Mother's Day, this is how the contact mix changes. So not only are you giving your agents a little bit more information, but you're collecting this information that you're able to report on and get deeper insights into your desk, into your customer service. So I'm going to go ahead and send off this email. Okay. And as an agent, all I'm doing is waiting for this contact to come in. You can see in Desk it has already come in. So remember, this customer contact form is integrated with Desk.com. When I open this ticket, I can see that the customer type they selected was advertiser and the contact reason was other, which was what was just selected in the form. So all of this ties in together, it's heavily integrated, and it provides for a really good experience not only for the agent but for the customer as well. Okay, now we're going to go back to the presentation here. So hopefully I was able to demonstrate the value of a contact form.
And we're getting another question about multilingual. So can you do those contact forms and then articles on the knowledge base in different languages?
Absolutely. So in Desk.com, you have the ability to provide a number of different languages for your customers. You'll need the articles translated, but again, that content can be surfaced to your customer in a different language for sure.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you.
So, now we've talked about how important self-service is, why you should offer it, ways to optimize it, make it easier to find. Tip number 4 is really about, promoting it and really making it a part of your culture. And so what does that mean? So if you look here, there's 2 different things on the screen right now. There's an agent email signature and there's an auto acknowledgement. So if we look at the signature, a very standard signature here, agent name, email, phone number, etc. But you can see that there is a hyperlink to the support portal for that company. Again, this is going on every single email that's going out to your customers, and eventually it will get ingrained into their mind that, hey, there is a self-service portal. I can go there and look for answers to my questions. And if we shift our attention to the right-hand side of the screen where we have the auto acknowledgement, you can see here that the auto acknowledgement, to just define what an auto acknowledgement is when a customer submits a new email or a new ticket, the auto acknowledgement is an email that gets sent to your customer to let them know, hey, we received your ticket, we'll get back to you as soon as possible. This allows the customer to understand that they've correctly submitted a ticket and that you're working on it. So, if you don't get back to them in a few hours, they won't be inclined to send you another email, and then you're going to have a ton of duplicates. So, auto acknowledgments are definitely a great best practice to implement. And you can see in this auto acknowledgement here, it says for answers to frequently asked questions, please visit our support portal. And then it also says that for faster service, please log a case using our contact form. And it even has a hyperlink to the contact form. So this creates a mental note for the customer. Hey, next time if I need support, I remember that in the auto acknowledgement, there was a link to the contact form. Or there'll be, oh, I'll just go to the support portal, online support portal, and I'll log a ticket through there instead of submitting an email. Okay. Want to show you another example of how you can really make self-service and customer service a part of your culture. So again, using our customer Park Whiz as an example, this is a transaction email that their customers get when they've secured a parking spot. So you can see here the booking's confirmed, but on the bottom of the email here, and this is a blown up version of it, you can see that they have the cancellation policy and they direct them to the account page, but they also have hyperlinks to the frequently asked questions about the bookings, hyperlinks directly to the article itself, bringing the customer to the self-service portal. So I'm sure everyone here, has marketing emails that go out, confirmation emails that go out. This is a great way to sort of ingrain self-service and ingrain customer support, throughout your company.
And before we go on to the next section, we have some questions about attachments. So can you talk about, can you attach files into a form? Are there any limits into what can be attached?
Yeah, so in the form itself, there's a little section, a little button that says File. And when you click on that, you can actually submit a file. So why don't we actually just go in and have a look at that. So let's go back to the home page here. And if we go to the contact form, okay, you can see here that there's a file attachment. So when you click on choose file, it'll just prompt the customer to select which file. And the limit is 20 megabytes. So that's usually enough for most customers.
Okay, and we have another question too about a really good question about mobile. So can we also do this on the mobile device?
Absolutely. That is an excellent question. And the Desk.com support portal, even out of the box, is a responsive theme. So what that means is that it can adjust itself based on the size of the browser. So you can see here that if I make this screen smaller, it actually looks a little bit different. Again, this is the responsive template. So just by using our out-of-the-box template, your customers can already access this on their mobile device. And there's actually two different ways that you can provide, for example, in-app support. So a lot of our customers provide a service off of an app. So you can use our mobile SDK. So with that feature, you're able to have the native look and feel of the app, but you're able to access all of the knowledge base articles, etc. And another sort of more lightweight way to do it is to, in the app, create a button that when is pressed, it opens up an in-app browser and pulls open your, your self-service support portal. So this way, any changes that you need to make is, done in real time. You don't need to have your developer set up an SDK, etc. You can just use our mobile responsive theme, have this in your app, and then provide in-app support.
Okay. Great. I hope that answered the questions around mobile support. And one last question here is, does it automatically encrypt the files?
So Desk.com does have different encryption methods for passwords, etc. If you have very sensitive files that you need and you want to encrypt those, I would encourage you to reach out to support and see what options you have around that.
Okay, great. And we are getting a lot of questions, but I want to make sure we fall within the 1 hour time frame. So if your question is not answered on the webinar, we will follow up after with answers to your question, especially if it's specific to your account.
Perfect. Okay. So the last tip we have today is the crawl, walk, run approach. So, I showed everyone examples of some really sophisticated support portals, whether it's Pandora or, Frank Body, etc. But, that's not the way it needs to be when you first get started. And the great thing about Desk is that it is completely out of the box. It's very easy to set up, and you can make it as simple and as complicated as you want. So let's look at what phase one would look like. So this is the crawl. So this is really using our template, putting on your logo, creating, some topics and some articles, and really you just need 5 articles to get started. You know what your commonly asked questions are. There's probably 5 to 10 of them. You don't need to have 50 articles in order to push this out to the public. Remember, you want to build this muscle memory of your customers knowing that there's self-service available. As you continue to grow, as more issues continue to arise, you can create articles as you go. Don't feel like it needs to be 100% or 50 articles from the get-go. Phase 2, add a little bit of complexity. You can see this customer here. They're using our basic template. You recognize this knowledge topic, articles, this contact us on the side, but what they've done is they've pulled in a custom header here that's the same header from their web page. They've utilized a custom URL. So for all of our Desk.com customers on the line, your site is sitename.desk.com, and that's your support portal URL. But you can change that. You can change that to yourcompany.com/support. It's very easy to do. And sort of like a crawl, walk, run, this would be a walk approach. And then you can have some additional articles. And then phase 3 would be really taking it to the next level. This is NPR, one of our Desk.com customers. They have highly customized their site, and I would encourage everyone to go onto the NPR website, go to the help section, and have a look at their support portal. It's absolutely beautiful. The contact form is amazing, and it's a really good inspiration for customers who really want to build more into their self-service page. But you can see here, there's a custom design. There also is the ability to have private access or single sign-on, so putting the content behind a login or having your customer log in a ticket through an authenticated experience. And additionally, you can also have multi-brand. So for the customers who don't know what multi-brand is, on your Desk.com instance, you can have as many support portals as you want, and they can look the same or they can look very different from each other. So I want to show some examples of what multi-brand is. So if I come out here, the first one I'm going to show is Pebble. Pebble is a Desk.com customer. They have a smartwatch that has notifications, different watch faces, very fun product. And they have 2 different products. They have one called Pebble Time. This is their newer model. And they have one called Classic Pebble. So let's say I'm a customer that has Classic Pebble. I'm going to click into the Classic Pebble support portal because I don't need articles on the other product. I only want products that are specific to my needs, and this is what I get. If I go back, and if I click on the Pebble Time, I'm going to see articles that are specific to this product. They may look very similar in terms of the web page here, but these 2 support portals could be completely unconnected to each other, could just be 2 different brands that you have, and your customers don't even know that the other brand exists. Another example of multi-brand usage is Bitly. So Bitly offers different articles and content for clients versus individuals. So as an individual, I don't have to sift through all the content that's related to clients that's not related to myself. So I'm going to go back here. Okay. And so again, this crawl, walk, run approach is really important, for the customers on the line today. If you don't have a support portal yet, I encourage you to go to our Desk.com support portal, so desk.com/support. Look up the articles on how to create a self-service portal, and start thinking about the articles that you might want to create. And most of you already have an FAQ section on your webpage. all you have to do is copy that content into Desk, and you can start having your support portal right away. For those that are a little bit more advanced, do you have a custom URL? Do you wish that your site was a little bit more, similar to your brand? Is there maybe another use case you can think of for utilizing our multi-brand function? Hopefully this presentation today has stimulated everyone to sort of think about the next steps in their self-service portal.
Okay, great. And we have had so many questions. I've been trying to get to them all, but our next question is, if you have multi-brand sites, can some of them be private access while others are open to the public?
You can, absolutely. So in the admin section, there's the ability to say, hey, you want private access for which brands. You can select them, and then you can just put certain ones behind a login.
Okay. Hopefully that answered your question.
Okay, perfect. Now, for the end of our presentation, I want to walk some of the customers quickly through how you would create an article using Desk.com, because I want everyone to understand how easy it is for our customers that are well versed in this. Thank you for joining us today. If you have questions, please post them to this section. But I'm just going to go back to my browser here. So you see here, this is the site that I have. And in the admin section, where you would create an article is in the content section. So I'm actually going to create a topic and an article to show everyone how that works. So the first thing I want to do is create a topic. Okay? So I can go in here, I can create a topic, and maybe just for simplicity's sake, it's going to be on, returns and exchanges and the date for today. Okay. And then after I create my topic, I am then going to go and turn it on for this brand here, and then I'm going to go and create an article. Okay. So I'm going to create a test article, and the topic is going to be on the one that I just created, returns and exchanges, May 25. And then I'm going to have a test article also with the date here. This is just to make it easier for us to identify the article when it's on the site itself. So I'm going to, just imagine if you have some FAQs on your site already, all you have to do is copy that FAQ, text copied here, okay? And then I'm going to show it in the support center. I'm going to apply some keywords to it. So maybe, I'll just put test, desk, etc. So that when customers type these keywords into the search bar, this article is going to be pulled up. And as you can see, I can embed images here. I can use HTML to put in, numbering, bullets, changing the color of the text. And now I'm just going to update this. Okay. And when I go back to my site here and I refresh, okay, we can see here that my new topic has already been posted to the site, returns and exchanges May 25th, and I have this article here, and when I type in test, that article is already going to show up. When I type in desk, same thing. When I go into the article, you can see what I typed in there, text copied here, is already displayed. So that's how easy it is to create an article, to create a topic, to get self-service for your customers. Okay. So this brings us to the close of our webinar today. And happy, Meredith, are there any other questions on the line that we can answer?
Yeah, we have a few more questions. So the next question is, do you offer any help in building a portal?
Yeah, absolutely. So we, again, as I mentioned earlier, we have a professional services team here at Desk.com. So if you have maybe a design that you like in mind, but you don't have a developer resource, or you just want to have it done really quickly, you can talk to your account executive about finding out about the professional services, and we can do it. There's 3 different levels. So there's one where it's very, simple. We use the basic template, but we'll pull in your header. And then you can do ones that are very complicated, like the Pandora one. So there's different levels of complexity that we offer.
Okay. The next question is the content, which edition is the content report available on?
Yeah, so the content report is available on our Business Plus package, and a lot of customers we've been talking about have actually, because they want a content report, switched over to the Business Plus plan. And if you're curious as to what other features the Business Plus plan has, please reach out to your account executive. They'll be happy to walk you through that.
Okay. All right, great. And our last question here, unless anything else comes up, is can agents access articles?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. So let's go out back into Desk.com. So we'll go back into the case view here, and you can see this is where the agent would respond, and there's a knowledge tab here. So the knowledge tab has all of the articles that you have created, and as an agent, I can actually go and say, hey, maybe there's a general FAQ question, when will my order ship? I can view the article right within Desk.com here, and I also have the ability to copy the link to the article into the case, or copy the text of the article into the case. So kind of using it as a macro. And then there's also internal articles. So today, mostly we talked about customer-facing self-service articles, but the knowledge base can also be used for internal purposes. If I'm an agent, I'm new, I'm still training, I'm going to want to refer to an article to remember, how to process a refund or how to initiate, a shipping update, etc. And having it right within Desk itself makes it really easy for me to access. And you can see here that it's private. So, a lot of companies in the retail space where, during Christmas time, they need to hire, 5 to 10 new agents and get them ramped really quickly. Having this internal articles is so important. And let's say I'm an agent, I went on vacation, for 3 weeks, and I'm a little bit rusty on how to do certain processes. Having this here ensures that they're following the right steps, and the customer is getting an error-free experience.
Okay, and the next question is who can post or who can create these articles?
Great question. So the admin absolutely has access to create these articles, and we also have a custom roles and permissions feature. So if we go over to team, okay, and we go to roles, there's the traditional role of the admin, the agent, the billing admin, but you also have the ability to create a custom role. This is a feature on our Business Plus plan. So let's see what you can change here. So if we go to role details, you can say this particular role can read a case or create a case, but you can say, hey, this role can also manage the knowledge base. And because of that, they'll be able to come in and create an article, but they won't be able to manage the labels or manage the rules, etc. So I guess the short answer to that question is anyone can create a knowledge article, whether it's an agent or an admin. If you need to fine-tune the permission access, you can use our custom roles and permissions feature.
Okay, great. And also, I wanted to point out that you can save articles as drafts and have someone else come in and approve those and publish them. So even if you've just started an article, it doesn't have to go live as soon as you started typing it into the system.
Yeah. So if we go into the articles section here, we can go back to our test article. Maybe you just want to save this as a draft. Okay. So maybe you don't want to show it in the support center yet, so I can go and update that. That's going to remove it from the public-facing site. And then you can also add internal notes here. So, maybe, on May 25th, supervisor came and approved article, etc. So different ways to sort of keep track of the different versions and approval process.
Okay, and we have several more questions that are more specific and technical, so I'm going to hold off and respond individually to those to give you the best answer. But let's see, I think we have one more final question. Okay, so the last question is, can you discuss some of the advantages to having agents access the knowledge base via the Desk.com view versus just typing in into a separate browser and going to the end user knowledge base?
Yeah, absolutely. So, for startups and for smaller companies, you don't have as many tools. You might have your Desk.com solution. You might have, a back-end system or another system. But, as your company continues to grow and as you continue to, really refine that support processes, you're going to have more and more tools, and your agents are going to have more and more windows open. And the whole idea of Desk is to really allow your agents to function with just one solution. So using Desk.com, you don't need to navigate to another tab. You don't need to navigate to another screen, and we call that the swivel chair effect. Having your articles in Desk.com eliminates that, and additionally, you're able to see, what content is helpful. You're able to see, which articles are used the most by agents as well, and having that in the agent view is going to allow you to do that, exactly that. And again, you have those internal facing articles. This way, using it right in Desk, right in the agent view, you can have both internal and external all in one place. You don't need to navigate to another browser tab.
Okay, great. That was a great explanation.
I guess one more thing as well, being able to use it here, you can, add a link and copy the text into the response without having to, copy and paste and select it in a different page and then copying it over.
Okay, great. So if there are no more questions, I will follow up separately with some information. You'll also get a follow-up email with the recording, and you can respond to that email if you have additional questions from there. Thanks, everyone, for joining, and I hope that everyone has a wonderful day.